Um, what is explanation essay? So explanation essay is one such example of a written piece of work that addresses why questions. So it explains a particular topic to its readers. Since it is meant to inform and educate the readers, the essay should present convincing and adequate support for the explanation. So, explanation essay is also referred to as expository essay. Since explanation essay is meant to inform or educate, so it focuses on explaining a specific topic or idea in a clear and logical way. So the goal is to inform or educate the reader about the subject by presenting well-organized details and evidence. So rather than trying to argue or persuade, an explanation essay is meant to provide understanding. So this includes facts, analysis, and examples to make the topic clearer for the reader. So, explanation essay provide analysis and information to the reader. So, it sets the points of view for the topics for explanation essays, but they might not have an exert central idea. So, it is different from a persuasive paper in terms of in use and in argument it uses. So, unlike persuasive essays, so explanatory essays or explanation essay may not always have a strong or obvious central argument. So, instead, they aim to explore and explain the subject. So, its key difference is that persuasive essay is designed to convince the reader of a certain viewpoint. Then, the explanation essay are focused on explaining facts and ideas without necessarily arguing for a side. Then explanation essay also follow a logical structure with an introduction, body paragraph explaining the topic, and also a conclusion that sums up the main points. Therefore, the explanation or expository essay is a valuable form of writing focused on readers' comprehension. By investigating and answering why questions, it aims to educate and inform the readers. The strength of such essay lies in its ability to provide convincing and sufficient evidence, ensuring the readers gain a solid understanding of the explained topic. So, the goal is to empower the reader with knowledge and insight.
Definition essay to explain the meaning of a complicated or abstract concept. So, this type of essay breaks down a term or idea that may be unfamiliar or misunderstood. So, it includes the definition, origin, background, and how it used in different contexts. So, the goal is to make the reader understand the concept clearly and thoroughly. So, for example, okay, the topic is what is love. So the topic might explain how love is more than an emotion. So it can be seen in actions, language, and social behavior. So kung ano siya, it may also differentiate between types of love like romantic, familial, or platonic. Cause and effect essay to describe an event or situation and the results of consequences it lead to. So this essay explores the reason something happened, the causes, and what follow the effects. So it helps the reader understands and the relationships between actions and outcomes. So it can focuses on one cause with many effects or the one effect with many causes. So the example of this is the effects of social media on student productivity. So the essay could explore how social media can cause distractions, sleep depression, and reduce academic performance, while also touching on possible positive effects like improved communication. Compare and contrast essay to highlight the similarities and or difference between two or more subjects. So this essay helps readers analyze how two or more things are alike and different. So it can be used to compare concepts, people, events, or even opinions. So this type of essay often leads to a deeper understanding of both topics. Ang examples of this is online classes versus traditional classroom learning. So the essay might explain that both methods aim to educate students but different in flexibility, cause interaction, and learning environments. How to process essay. So to explain the steps needed to complete a task or process. So this tip is a step-by-step instructional essay. It teaches the reader how to do something, outlining each part of the process clearly and logically. So the language is usually simple and direct to avoid confusion. For example of this guy, how to bake a chocolate cake. So the essay would begin with listing the ingredients, then guide the reader through the kanang steps like mixing, baking, and decorating, while also offering tips for a successful result. Classification essay to break down a broad topic into categories and explain each one. So this essay organizes a subject into different parts of groups based on shared characteristics. It helps simplify complex complex topics by categorizing them, making the subject easier to understand. For example, is types of smartphone users. So the essay could group into users into gamers to professionals, social media users, and casual users. So each type would be described with examples of behaviors, app usage, and preferences. Problem and solution essay to identify specific issue and propose one or more ways to fix it. So this essay first outlines a problem in detail explaining why it matters, then it presents practical or innovative solutions, weighing the pros and cons of each. So it aims to persuade readers to support a particular solutions. So for examples of this is the topic of plastic pollution in oceans. So the essay might describe how plastic harms marine life and ecosystems. So it would then suggest solutions like banning single-use plastics, creating recycle programs, and using biodegradable materials.
Yes. So here are the three parts of an explanatory essay. So the first one is introduction. So it should you should tell what you're going to explain and why you choose it as your topic. So your thesis statement should include a bit of all the aspects that you will mention on your plan. So then you will introduce your topic clearly. You need to state and provide some background information, to help reader understand the context. So you will explain why the topic is important. You will also provide reasons why the topic is significant and worth exploring. So number two is main body. So it's likely to consist of more than one paragraph. If your thesis statement consists of several aspects, you should help evaluate each of them in a separate paragraph. So in the main body, you have to develop your thoughts, backing them up with trustworthy evidence. You have to sound convincing. So the main task of this essay is to show that you are knowledgeable in this sphere. Okay, and the main body it is the second part of an explanatory essay, and the purpose of this is to provide evidence and analysis to support the thesis statement. So, develop the thesis statement. You will break down the thesis statement into smaller points and develop each point in a separate paragraph. So, you will also provide the evidence. So, use credible sources to provide evidence and support, yeah, the points being made. Also, this one, you will analyze the evidence and explain its significance in relation to the topic. So the last one is the conclusion. So a paragraph where you state the definition of the problem you made out of the sources you've used. Your conclusion is concise summary of the essay. Therefore, you are top, make it logical and solid. Proofread your work a couple of times and make necessary corrections. So, in conclusions, the conclusion is the final part of an explanatory essay, and its purpose is to summarize the main points and reiterate the thesis statement. So, A good conclusion should provide a concise summary of the main points discussed in the essay. So you will restate the thesis statement in different words to reinforce the main argument. So in the end of the essay, with a thought-provoking statement or a call to action.
Good day everyone, I'm here to discuss about 4 out of 8 steps to start an explanation essay. So first is you speak a neutral topic, and second, conduct research and gather evidence, and third, outline your ideas. Fourth, craft a strong thesis statement. So first, pick a neutral topic. One of the most critical aspects of writing an explanation essay is having a neutral point of view. Why? Because having a neutral point of view in an expository essay is crucial because it allows the writer to present information in a fair and balanced manner. This also helps to build credibility, trust with the reader. Second, conduct research and gather evidence from facts and codes to statistical data, survey results, and examples. Look out for any factual, anecdotal, or logical evidence that can be used in the paper. So why conduct research and gather evidence? To start an explanation essay, conducting research and gathering evidence provides the necessary information and supporting to explain the topic clearly and accurately. Then we are now on the third part of explanation essay, that is outline your ideas. So creating an outline, the ideas is nothing but jotting down the points you to plan to include in the introduction, body, and conclusion paragraph. This rough outline serves as the skeleton and ensures that your paper flows logically. So why creating outline is the third step to start explanation essay? It is because creating outline to start expository essay, it helps organize ideas, structure the content, and ensures a logical flow of information, making the essay clearly and easy to follow. Then the fourth step is craft a strong thesis statement. The thesis statement is essentially 2 to 3 sentences that appear at the end of in the introductory paragraph. Remember, an effective thesis statement is concise, meaning clear, debatable, and supportable, and it makes sure you can justify it in the succeeding paragraph to follow. So why craft a strong thesis statement? A strong thesis statement provides a clear and concise summary at the main point, guiding the reader through the essay and helping the reader to stay focused on the topic. So next presenter is Jasper Marintes.
So now let's proceed to the number 4. Craft a strong thesis statement. The thesis statement is essential to 2 to 3 sentences that appear at the end of the introductory paragraph. Remember that an effective thesis statement is a concise, debatable, and supportable. Make sure you can justify the succeeding paragraph. Number 5. Start with an inciting hook. A hook may be a form of rhetorical question, a quote, or a startling statistic, a funny anecdote, an interesting fact, a metaphor, or anything else that would reel the readers in and pique their interest. The hook is the first 1 to 2 sentences of the essay, after which you need to give the information or the background of the topic. Number 6. Validate your argument with facts and explanation. Now comes the meat of your explanatory essay, and the most time-consuming section, the body paragraph. It is advisable to devote 1 paragraph to each idea, wherein you state the main idea after offering the evidence smoothly progress to the next idea. Wrap up the strong conclusion. An idea conclusion needs to restate the thesis statement while touching upon the main ideas and evidence. You highlighted the essay. Once you wrap up the critical points, leave the reader with a powerful call to action that make them think that effectively put across the point you set out to make. And for the last one, number 8, edit and proofread. After the days of hard work, you ought to set aside time to edit and proofread the essay. You don't want to submit a paper filled with silly mistakes and let all your effort go down to drain. Yay.
The blog. So a blog is an online journal or informational website that's run by an individual, group, or corporation that offers regularly updated content about a topic. So a blog is a type of websites where a person, a group, or a certain company that shares their ideas, informations, and other stories for that certain topic of the blog. So a blog is usually written in a casual and a friendly way so that it is easy for the readers to understand and enjoy it. So what is blog used for? When blog first appeared in the World Wide Web, their goal was mainly for personal use, such as for sharing stories, interests, and thoughts. So by over time, blogs have been also used up to educate readers on certain topics or to build a professional online presence. So people use blogs so that they can share stories, interests, and thoughts just like an online diary. So as you can see, there's an example. David Winner, author of one of the longest running blogs, Scripting News, and publishes essays on software development. So technology, trends, and daily life on his webpage. So check out check ninyo si David Winner or search David Winner on Google para makita ninyo ang iyang blogs. What is blog post? A blog post is the piece of content in a blog where posts are frequently updated and often organized in a reverse chronological order, with the newest blog post appearing on the top. So it is a single piece of content. That article is published on a blog. So these posts are updated through a chronological order or the reverse chronological order, meaning the most recent post appears on the top of the blog.